Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. So, we're now in June and I have been busy behind the scenes trying to set up and kind of progress a little bit further, especially from where we were in the last episode, because I do want to chop down a lot of these trees, so I thought I'd make a start on that. And I've got a few piles here, as you can see. I've got a decent amount of logs here to sell. I'm hoping to sell all these in this episode. There's going to be a few trips, but should give us, well, hopefully, I'm trying to guess. I'm going to say we're going to pick up around maybe 50,000 if we're lucky. It's a decent amount of logs, it really is. But we'll wait and see for that. There's a few other things I want to do. So these bales are now fully fermented. We can go and sell these as silage. I did previously say as well, we're not going to wait until the silage price is at the maximum, just because the change in price isn't too much of an issue, really. I mean, we got 189 there, 157. It's not too bad. We're still going to make a decent amount of money from the 157 to the 189. It's not perfect. You know, there's a £10,000 difference there if we sell all our silage, but we're not going to be doing that just yet. But I have had an idea soon that probably means we're going to have to sell all our silage. And the reason that is some of the bales, as you probably noticed, have got like the original base look to them, where they're quite just straight. There's no curve to the side of the bale, which would be natural. Now I have got that mod on that makes the curved wrap bales look pretty realistic, but I've also got lazy bales on. And the reason I've used lazy bales in the past is because it stops the bale dead when it comes out, so if you're on a hill it doesn't roll back down. It's really useful, but the problem is they conflict with each other, so I have to remove lazy bales to have the other one working. If I do that, all my bales disappear, and that's just silage bales. So what I need to do first is sell all my silage bales before I need some. It's going to be difficult to do, but I really like the look of them bales, so I would probably go ahead and sell all the silage right now if we could. But it's going to be a bit of a task. I mean, if we have a look at the cows, because they're the only ones that really need the silage, they're happy full on grass. Chickens, not too bad. I did a feed mix for the Holstein, and I also did some for the Brown Swiss, so not too bad on that front. Fingers crossed we can get the bale sold, because we don't need them. We're actually doing pretty well when it comes to the amount of silage we've got. So we do another cut. We don't really need hay as well. I mean, we could get a bit of hay, but maybe it's worth selling all our silage, getting all that money in, and then making some more silage to store. Hopefully have that nicer looking round bale. That would be pretty decent. So first thing we're going to do, though, before we even start doing any of this logging, is we're going to go, oh, we don't want to do that, buddy. What have we got going on here? We're on the wrong path. Hopefully now we should be okay. There we go. So we're going to send that up to the shop. The reason we're going to do that is we're going to sell it. We're hopefully going to get it in around £23,000–24,000, and with that we're going to buy ourselves another tractor, because I really do need another tractor. Don't know if you can just tell, the John Deere is just sitting over there, and I'm waiting to actually spread some fertiliser in that field again. And the reason is because in the last episode when we were doing the fertiliser, it kind of finished off a little bit patchy, and that's just because it's the first time we've grown anything in this field after we've ploughed it. So it's got a bit of a hit and miss kind of areas where it's a little bit less fertiliser, and I don't want to keep it like that, because I do want to try and maximise that field out as much as possible. Now the only problem I've got is I need a tractor with narrow tyres, because now crop field 5, field 2, field 1 and field 4 down here have all got a tall enough crop, let's say, that now crop destruction is going to take hold unless we've got narrow tyres. So I can't put narrow tyres on the John Deere, unfortunately. I don't want to be putting narrow tyres on the Landini, because I need that to get up the hill. And even though I probably could put narrow tyres on that Massey, it shouldn't be having narrow tyres on. So we're going to buy ourselves another tractor. We're going to sell what I've just sent up to do that. And then the good thing about that is we can start the fertiliser going in that field, try and get some other fields done. We're also going to do all these loads of logs here, get that sold, and then finally we're going to try and sell every single silage bale that's in that field. That's what I want to do by the end of this video. So we're going to try and rake in a bit of cash in this episode. So I think what we'll do is we'll first, just while we're waiting for that to go to the shop, we may as well start loading some of these in. Now I have put them in nice handy piles, so it's going to make life a little bit easier, especially with this Now, even though this is brilliant, as you can tell, it's really useful. I don't want to be using this for pretty much forever. It's a weird sound. Never get used to that sound. It's a werewolf. So what I am going to do is obviously buy that wheel loader I was talking about previously. I think it was a Volvo, and it was actually a really good price. And it would be perfect because we can just use it for hauling logs, and we can actually use a proper log grab, one that's going to grab quite a lot. And there was even another trailer for logs that was a bit bigger, and it means that we can haul more at a time, because we're going to have all them stone pine as well at some point, and that is going to bring us in so much money. So I think it's worth investing in at least. Probably fit a few more in there. We don't want to be doing 6 loads in this. Well, 6 piles, I'm sure of it. Yes, no, 5 piles. So we don't really want to be doing 5 trips. We can try and condense this into 3. I'll be happy. So let's try and fit a few more logs on here. We should get the notification soon. He's up there. And I'm actually looking forward to it because I always like buying a new tractor, especially on the survival series, because it doesn't happen often. You have to really think about which ones you buy, because we don't need too much horsepower. I mean, the more the better, really. If we can get over 100, I'll be happy. But I did want it to fit in between the John Deere and the Landini. So we'd have to see what we can do. I think that's pretty full now. There we go. So it's at the shop, so we may as well park things up, get ready. We'll have a look at some tractors, see what we can buy. I'm hoping to get one that's at least 80 maybe. And if we just quickly go and have a look at our equipment, small tractor wise, we've got this that's no longer in use. It's just sitting on the sidelines, a bit of a showcase, kind of a reminder of where we started off from. Brilliant tractor, did well, 25 horsepower. Doesn't need to be used anymore for that reason. The John Deere is actually quite useful, and it is 100 horsepower, but it's very slow. It only goes 19 miles an hour. You do feel the difference when you're into the other tractors, because something about the John Deere, it lacks a lot. It really does, but it's also been a really good tractor for us. Now, these are the 2 main ones we've been using recently. We've got the Landini, which is 190 horsepower, which is a beast, it really is, and it goes 24 miles an hour. And then we've got the most recent one, which is the Massey 7620, 225, and you can go up to 34 miles an hour. So I'd like it to be in between 100 and obviously your 190. So like a 130, 140 would be perfect. But then again, I am only going to be using this for probably fertilizer, maybe mower, even though the John Deere looks good on the John Deere mower. But small tasks like tedding, anything like that really. But at the same time, if we can get something that's got a good speed and can do, you know, a good chunk of the jobs we need, then we may as well take that while we can. That makes sense. I've actually still got that there, which is the weight that I was using on the tractor we sold not long ago. We should probably sell that. It's not like we need it. So let's sell that first. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to repair it, and we're going to sell it for 26,721. That is brilliant. That should buy us a decent tractor. We will have a look in the second hand, as always, but I'm not holding my breath for that. We haven't seen too many tractors recently. Let's have a quick look. So I'm just skimming through, and I haven't actually seen anything so far. There's a feed mixer, and I do want to get a new feed mixer for 25,000. That is a bargain. That would be good, but that's not what we've come to the shop for. So let's have a look at some small tractors and go through. Looking at the horsepower, so we've got an 81 Zeta there. That's not too bad, but we can't get to 100. So, do you know what? A Fiat Agri would not be a bad shout, but that's only 85 on that one. We've got 105, but that's what we've got already. A 123 there, a 4-wheel drive Deutschfahr, which is not bad at all. So that's 123, but you've added 12,000 onto that. That's just bringing us over where we want. Now this Fiat Agri could be perfect. 18,000, 21 miles an hour. So So not the fastest in the world, but it's obviously better than 19. Only just though, but 130. So if we bring it up to 130, we can even go 120. But it's only 4,000, and we're still 23,600 for this. And can we have narrow tyres? That's the question. Yes, we can. So 24,600 for a Fiat Agri. 130, pretty much bang on where I wanted. And it's got narrow tyres. So let's give it a bit of tyre sound, because I do like that. Do we really need mud guards? Not really, let's be honest. I mean, anything like that we can always add later on, can't we? Front weight might be useful, definitely. Front weight might be useful, especially for hauling stuff. So we'll put the front weight on, and I'm gonna get it. There we go. That's it. Tractor has been purchased. It's going to be perfect for the job. It's got narrow tyres on, so we can get it straight out in the fields and start fertilising. There we go. And do you know what? For a Fiat Agri, it's actually not that bad. Usually, some of the Fiat Agris have this crazy roar to them, and you can tell you're in a Fiat Agri. But this one's a little bit quieter. Must be a little bit happier. Anyway, let's get to this field and start getting the fertiliser on that field. But overall, I am really happy with that. I think it looks pretty decent. Not a bad purchase. 130 horsepower. We've got Fiat Agri. It's kind of exactly where I wanted, tractor-wise. Yeah. Really happy with this one. So, let's get to the field. Let's get a course set up and get some of that fertiliser on the ground. Actually looks like this grass is already starting to, well, it's very close to needing mowing again. It's like nearly gone to head. It's like one growth stage before, so we're going to be making some more soon. So we could sell all the bales. We could maybe keep it 3 or 4, and just in case we need them for the feed mixes. But if by doing that we're taking a risk anyway, we really are, because we're going to lose it if we don't use it. So, one of them. So we've got plenty of solid fertiliser here, still ready to use. So when it comes to refilling, if it does get empty, we'll have to just quickly jump in, bring it back down to here, and then just fill it up. But we'll make sure he's full as he starts now. And then what we need to do, as always with this one, is start a course. Now it does say 24 metres. I think I got it wrong last time, so let's just confirm what we've got here, because I think it is bigger. Yeah, 28 metres. So last time we did get that wrong. So 28 metres on this one. We'll do one headland because plenty of place to turn. 28 metres, one headland pass. Don't need an overlap on this one, just 1%, and no bypass. Generate the course, and look at that, easy enough course that is. I'm hoping it'll last out, but at least we're not doing any damage. As you can tell, I did test it out. I left the tractor in the field, and then it obviously sprung to the next growth stage, and I did a bit of crop damage. Not ideal, but only a small amount. So, first waypoint. Get fertilising, my mate. There we go. Happy days. And just to confirm that everything's working on that one, you can probably just make out that it has got rid of them bits, so we have a nice fully fertilised crop field, and this crop field's massive. So this should turn out a lot of money. It's interesting as well, because I probably in about 3 episodes time we're going to have a lot of money, a lot more than we've ever had before. We've got a lot coming in from planks, which is next month. That's in July. So yeah, expect very soon to see the bank balance jumping up more than it probably ever has done. And we're going to be selling quite a few logs now, which should give us a nice little starting point. Selling all the silage as well. Let me get the planks. And finally, let me bring the harvest in. That should be even more. I have to take my time around here. I've proven already that me and this bridge, well, we just don't get on. The amount of times I've flipped a tractor, telehandler, everything. It's not ideal. So when I go around the corners with these logs, I have to be super careful. I'm just admiring the lighting. I am actually using, in this series now for the first time, the Relight mod. Because, well, it makes the game look so much better. But I have found only on some maps it's suited to. If I use it on Calmsden, for example, I prefer the lighting on Calmsden without Relight. It's a bit like Court Farms that's coming out soon. One thing I will tell you is that has its own lighting that's an improvement on Calmsden, and Oxy already did a pretty decent job on that. And definitely the lighting system within Court Farms is pretty impressive. So, example, so also I wouldn't be using Relight on that, but a map like No Man's Land and Bally Springs as well, it is actually integrated into that map. You know, it works a treat, and it's such a great mod, Relight. If you haven't looked it up, there is a standalone version that you can use if it's not already built into a map that you can activate. So definitely search that. I think the Farmson guy did a really good video on showcasing that mod. So if you're unsure, just go on the Farmson guy's YouTube channel and have a look at his video about Relight, because as you can see now in this game, especially in the mornings, in the days that it looks a lot brighter, and then especially in the evening when the sun starts to go down, you get a nice orange tinge to the sky, and it does look a lot more realistic and more vibrant. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't already used that. The only one thing I have noticed with Relight is it does make sometimes the game look a little bit too dark, for example when it's raining or anything like that, but to be honest that's probably realistic anyway. It's never going to be quite bright when clouds are out. But in these summer months like June now, when there isn't a cloud in the sky and it's early morning, because we have started early, it's 5:43, but I will skip time a little bit so you can see what it looks like when the sun is proper shining. There we go. I have got a few more over here as well that I did leave into the logging machine that we just sold. So we'll get them on now. In fact, I might put them on the top because they probably fit better that way. We get more on. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll put a bit of a time lapse in of just me selling all these, just to see where we're at the end, and then hopefully we'll be around 50,000. That's what I'm aiming for. If that bank balance there is at 50,000, I'm happy.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. I know I'll be okay, 'cause I find my way. 'Cause I find my way. 'Cause I find my way, my way, my way, find my way, my way. 'Cause I find my way, my way, my way, find my way, my way. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. 'Cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.
Right, so that's that done. All the logs are sold, and I didn't do too bad. I have actually just had as well, skipping time a bit of cash from selling milk, because I've got the automatic milk sale mod activated. So we are over 41,000 just. Not too bad, not 50,000, which is what I hoped for, but still, we're at 41,000. You can't complain at that. Just before I move on to actually selling the bales, because that's the next task to hopefully bring us over the £50,000 mark, I thought I'd ask a question out to everyone that's watching the video, and hopefully you can give me a reply in the comment section, which is, what should I do to this space in front of me? What would you do? I have had a few ideas of maybe expanding out the chickens there, because we can't really fit many in. I'm trying to get like a bigger pasture or pen, I think it's more of a chicken pen, isn't it really, for some chickens, so we can actually make a lot more eggs and try and sell them. But then I had an idea of maybe putting something in for pigs, even if it's just a small one. But then the problem with pigs is you really want to be giving them pig food. We'd have to find a way of making our own pig food, because it's going to cost too much to buy it, because they do consume quite a lot of food. So yeah, what would you do with that section there? Because we did have the small little sheep pasture, but we've obviously knocked that down and made a bigger one that's out in the woodland area over there, which is obviously much better anyway. But yeah, what would you do? So yeah, let me know in the comment section. I'll look over what everyone suggested, and the one that stands out to me the most is like a really good idea. I'll go with that. So I don't know if you've noticed as well, with it being 12:30, I know the rain's about to start, which is pretty bad luck, but the sky, the colour, the actual lighting, this is obviously because now we're in midday, the sun's probably at its highest right above us. And yeah, you can see it's more vibrant now. I do love it, I really do. I think that the relight mod is so good. It does make the game much better. Right, so last little bit that we've got to do now is obviously go and sell these bales. Now I've got two trailers here. I've got one on the Massey, one on the Landini. It's probably the wrong way around. The tractor's such a small trailer. This didn't like that, did it then? Yeah, we should. What I was saying was probably should have swapped him round. I wonder why it didn't want to get that there. Let's see if we can. We've got another sliding bale. Awesome. Does make it life a lot more harder there, Giants, with your brilliant physics. I still don't understand how bales aren't a lot more heavier in game, because look at that. How would that bale slide off? Beyond me. Anyway, just having a little rant there. Yeah, let's try and load these up. It is going to take some time, but it's worth it, because we do need to fertilise this field so we can get maximum on the next time round. And I was going to do hay, but looking at the amount of hay we've got, looking at the amount of sheep pretty much and cows we've got, the only animals that are going to consume that, it's not as important as I first probably thought. It's going to be weird, isn't it? A big bale and a smaller bale. Hopefully it'll be alright. But yeah, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to sell all the silage bales and just make some silage to keep. It's something to do with this trailer, isn't it? I'm hoping it is anyway, because that is a strange thing. It really is. I wonder why. Not ideal though, it's going to make my life a lot more tricky. Nudge that one back on. It's I don't know if it is actually the bale spike, but yeah, this is not good at all, really. It's, as you can see, they're just bouncing all over the shop. So, if it is the bale spike, I might just go back to a bog standard one because, yeah, it's a strange one. But anyway, let's just get some bales on this trailer. It's not going to be easy now. Probably going to be a lot harder than originally planned, but that there for me is where the physics need to come in a bit better, because it is a heavy bale. Most of them bales, you've got no chance of moving. There's technically wet, fermented grass in that. It is heavy. But yeah, it's always been a problem. It's always been an issue I feel like Giants need to probably focus on a little bit more, which is the physics of the game. They did well with pallets, in all fairness, last time round. We did have massive issues with pallets in FS19. So it's nice to see that has finally been sorted. But look at this. This is a massive bale. That would slide off that within milliseconds. Especially at that angle. But, yeah, it is what it is. Right, so, as you can tell, I have had enough of that bale spike. I'm hoping that was the issue, and we're going to go with a base game bale spike. And let's see what this does. Fingers crossed, it should work. Fingers crossed. If it is, we know to avoid that bale spike in the future. But I don't know, I'm just kind of not 100% certain on this one, I'll be honest. Then again, that's so far worked a treat. Now it's going to be difficult because obviously that's unbalanced when I was dropping it down, but in all fairness that worked. I'm happy with that. I'll just nudge that one forward a bit. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much if it's hanging off the edge. And the other one I can nudge back, hopefully. It's not going to be easy to do just because of the size bales I've got going here. But main thing is just to get them on and go sell them. I mean, it's always tricky doing it manual. Sometimes it goes really well, other times it can be difficult. Now, I did find in FS19 though that I enjoyed actually loading and unloading bales, and I actually found that I didn't have many issues. So yeah, it's looking like it could be something I'm just not having as much joy with on FS22, which is a shame because, you know, like I mentioned, I actually enjoyed unloading and loading bales, especially on, I think it was Challengton. I loved that map, and I played a lot of hours on that, and I remember always wanting to try as much as possible to stick to, you know, manual loading and unloading bales. There we go, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Just a little bit. So we've got plenty of bales still to go through. It's going to take quite some time to do this, but I'll probably stick in another time lapse just to make sure I can try and get these two trailers full. Don't know if we're going to sell everything, as I'm just going to fill up the two trailers and then go and sell. And everything that's left I will do in between the episodes, because so it's not as repetitive. Because that's all, I'm always worried about making content that gets a bit repetitive when I'm doing too much logging or too much of the same action. So as long as we can get the money up, that is the main thing. I do want to buy the wheel loader as well, so you never know, we could actually buy the wheel loader for the next episode. So if we do a bit more logging, it will be with that wheel loader. Come on. I'm only ever having this issue, which I've had a few times now playing FS22, when I've got two bales, and it's a shame because I'm picking them up from the same level. You know, they're both at the same level. I know these two bales are different sizes, but I am picking up when they're on both on ground level, so really I should drop both of these, and there should be enough, you know, there should be enough surface area at the bottom to kind of grasp and pull the spike out. But what I'm finding is both bales don't normally do that. This has worked, hopefully. Ooh, just about. I think we might be able to fit another small one on the end there. But after that, I think this one's going to be full. All fun and games, all fun and games. I mean, as well, like bales. If you ever look at bales when they're actually on a bale pad after they've been, you know, wrapped and they've been there for a few weeks and they've started to ferment, and even when they're quite aged, coming to the end of the spell before you start cutting the year after, for example, to make more bales, you'll notice that a lot of the bales kind of sag and they're not shaped like this anymore, even if they are circular on the edges and stuff like that when they're wrapped, you know, because they're obviously compressed. Yeah, a lot of the time these sag and become misshaped depending on what's on top. I'd love to have the option for them to kind of like decrease and misshape as they've been fermented, so they'd look a lot different. That would be something decent to have. You never know, could be something even a modder might be able to bring into the game. But anyway, enough faffing from me. Let's get these bales loaded up. I'll do another time lapse. Only one more trailer to go, and then yeah, we'll see how many bales we've picked up in the end. Hopefully it'll be quite a few. Right, so there we go. That was pretty tricky, I'm not going to lie. This first trailer especially, when I was doing 2 bales at a time, it just didn't work too well. But this one, when I went to picking up 1 bale at a time, I actually stacked that pretty well in the end. I've probably put more than it should have on by a good country mile. I've only got, I think it's just 2 bales. Yes, it is, just 2 bales left, so not too bad. I am using the Follow Me mod, and I'm just hoping this Landini, which it's absolutely mincing through. These rear tyres on this Landini just allow me to do pretty much anything. So I've got Follow Me on, like I said, and we're just going to go take these up, and we're going to have the massive behind us following us, and we'll go and get all these bales sold. And I'm hoping to pick up, you know, a pretty decent amount. Probably, I'm hoping at least 9,000, because then I'm over the £50,000 mark, but we'll wait and see. I mean, this is just the one cut as well, so we could make plenty more bales. And now that we've got the better baler, which I only started using pretty much near the end of when I was baling up this cut, we can have bigger bales, which means we're handling less. But I don't want to go to an autoload. I don't mind using autoload for pallets and for like the planks and stuff like that. I can happily use that one that kind of spawns it in. But for bales, I kind of want to stick to manual loading for this series. I really do. But yeah, let's see what we get. Hopefully it's a decent amount, and we've made pretty much 50 grand in this episode. We've also bought ourselves a new tractor. Not too bad at all. I thought it'd be a more interesting way to sell these bales by just taking all the strapping off one by one and seeing what happens. 57,000 in total so far from selling bales in this episode, and that's just with that trailer. So let's now turn that off. There we go. Now what we need to do, and there we go. 7,600. We're actually at 64,000. That is a lot more than I expected. It really is. We've made, well, 64,000 straight away, and we've sold our old kind of logging equipment. It wasn't old, but it was that we only used once. Kind of a bit of a waste of money that was, but luckily we've got the money back, and we've bought ourselves a nice Fiat Agri that's actually going to be really useful for this series. As you can see with the money, we're making strides. We've got 100,000 litres of logs to sell as well. Very soon, probably in the next video or the video after that, we'll definitely be doing that. And we've only got 2 bales left to sell a silage. So silage really is a good earner. We're up to 64,000. And I think on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Definitely a productive one. We've done quite a lot. Still got a lot to do. I will spray the fertilizer on all the fields in between this episode and the next. I'll probably chop a few more trees down as well. And we might even now, with this money being where it is, at the start of the next episode, buy ourselves that wheel loader. So then when we do pick up the logs, we're actually using that, and hopefully it'll make things a lot easier as well. Even though the way we're doing it now is pretty easy. It might be a bit more work, but it's probably more in line with my playstyle. So let's go with that one. So hopefully, yeah, it should work out better than the one we just sold anyway. But on that note, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it each time. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.